What was your reaction to Pettis KO Khabib's boy? Good shit, man. Sergio Pettis with a spinning elbow, dude. He was having a really tough time. Chat, I wish I was live, yeah, because we missed Khabib crying in the corner. Ah! No! Ah! Ah! I'm going to think about that till my very end, dude. Fuck! If we were live for that, I would have... Oh, God, I would have gloated about Khabib crying in his corner, dude. Fuck! We'll see it someday, dude. We'll see it someday. Jesus. We'll have to see it someday. How do you think Paddy, Gaethje, Holloway each do against Ilya at 155? Holloway has a chance at 55 if they were to have the matchup fresh. I think now that he's lost by TKO, it will be a disadvantage for him. Especially in the build-up as well. Like, I think Ilya will rattle him. Yes or no, chat? I think Holloway has one of the weakest mentals in the game. In terms of being shit-talked. You know? I know McGregor didn't shit-talk him. But he does get genuinely rattled and emotional by people even saying anything negative about him. No? Yeah, you're wrong. You can get in his head. You absolutely can get in his head. Ilya did. Volk did. He got proper angry at Volk in the trilogy. Really angry at him over nothing. A lot. And, yeah, he does get a little... He has a chip on his shoulder a lot, you know? But that's normal. And maybe it drives him. You know, he's probably won as many matchups as he's lost. Based on mental warfare. But he can be rattled, I think. How do you think Paddy, Gaethje, Holloway each... I think Gaethje would lose immediately. I think Paddy's got more of a chance than Gaethje just because he would offensively grapple. I think Gaethje would be food for Ilya. What are you doing if... Holloway and Dustin are kings of being rattled by... Yeah, Poirier has it done to him as well. I'm not saying it negatively affects their mindset entirely, but... Poirier does get rattled by shit talk. I think yes or no, chat, it was a time where... They're both fighters of an era where no one shit talked. You know? No one shit talked. Everyone had like a mutual respect. They're still of that era. And when they hear that, it's like it's more foreign to them for someone to be like yapping at them a little bit. You know? What are the odds of Izzy beating Caio Borralho? 50-50 fight, you know. It depends on the Izzy that shows up, but I do think he's got... I think Izzy's really good, you know. Did you think that in the Duplessis fight? I know people gave me shit for saying that he looked really good and maybe the best he's... Maybe he didn't look the best he's ever looked. But I remember thinking in the Duplessis fight, like, shit, man, he looks fucking sharp in this fight. Like, there are certain fights where he's very on the outside and he doesn't commit to many shots. But then there's other fights where he's really, like, dangerous in the pocket and sharp and he looks more powerful. And yeah. So I still think he can compete with some of these guys, but I just don't think he can win against the top dogs, is all. He was looking sharp. Yeah. He just, when he gets held down, he's very open. One big weakness I always saw in Izzy's game was, I don't know if anyone else noticed, this was when Vettori took his back in their rematch. And I was like, ugh, if Vettori wasn't retarded, then he probably would have finished him there. You know what I mean? But Vettori didn't even put the body triangle in or some shit. So I was like, oh, never mind. You know, Vettori's fumbled it again. But yeah. UK's favourite UFC fighter? Probably Pimblett is the overall UK favourite right now. A lot of people know about Pimblett. Even if they don't know about UFC, they know Paddy Pimblett at this point. He's that known over here. You know what a lot of people don't get about Paddy Pimblett? I've mentioned this before. He has a lot of, like, female fans. Like, there's a lot of, like, people that genuinely, like... He's like a... it's very odd, but he's like a UK thirst trap for women. I'm not kidding. There was a time when there was, like, loads of millions and millions of viral things going around of people thirst trapping Pimblett in the UK. I guess they like him on Fight Week. And then a couple of weeks later, maybe otherwise. But he is like a UK low-income thirst trap. Which is crazy, right? But, yeah. I think the overall narrative is just like there's just something about his confidence. Is like what they say. But it also might just be because he's very popular. So all of a sudden he's like deemed incredibly attractive. Because they can get views out of a TikTok thing about him. You know what I mean? So there's that as well. You feel me? Yeah, the Sidemen thing. Oh, the Sidemen thing, they have like a child audience and they know it. Yeah, on Side Plus. And when they do this like Sidemen dating thing where they do the swipe thing, Tinder, Sidemen Tinder, they bring on OnlyFans girls and then they have them flash and mute it and say, go to Side Plus to see this. Unblocked and unfiltered. They are literally borderline selling pornography, softcore pornography, to a audience that they know is a child audience. And in my opinion, that's disgusting, and it should be criminalized. But they don't see it that way. They're degenerate people, and they push degeneracy on the culture. It sickens me. But that's my opinion on the Sidemen. I'll never collab with them ever. But you'll collab with Aiden Ross? Yeah, to rinse his fucking viewership. But yeah, he's awful as well. Or will I? Or will I? Because he was playing me around, dude. I ain't doing that. Sidemen at the UK version of Hollywood. Gone woke. Thank you for the £2, yeah. Who wins, Usman or Hooker, and Usman versus Benoit Saint-Denis? And plus, I've formed these opinions very recently as well, guys. Come on. But that's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, you're right. I won't. How about that? I get a lot of people sending me their fights on Instagram. We got a guy called, he's an amateur right now. Sorry, let me, find out who he is. There's a guy who's been, like, following me for years. I'll give him a little shout out here. Let me find out. He always sends me, like, based reels and shit. Shit, he's a fighter on the regional scene. Oh, you know, I spoke to Luigi Vendramini yesterday, chat. Didn't even tell you about that. Yesterday, I was speaking to Luigi Vendramini on Instagram. What a G. We were championing each other, dude. I was shouting him out. You're cheering him on and that. What's this guy's name? His name's Diego Rodriguez. I'm not going to tell you what he told you he was going to do to his next opponent, but it was based. He fights at APFC. Charles Oliveira is apparently going to be a special guest. Yeah. November the 2nd. So I'll pay attention to that. Give it a 10. MMA jury, my beloved. Luke Thomas says Corey Anderson is undoubtedly top 5 light heavyweight in the UFC, maybe even top 3. I think Roman Dolidze moves up and gives him problems. Luke Thomas is self-hating, just like MMA Joey. We've got to rid ourselves and stop talking about these defects of our people. Thank you. Thank you for the £2. Impression of CTE Volk going up to heavyweight. I don't know. I don't think Corey Anderson's top. Are you fucking retarded? No. Chat, anyone else would worry about Alonzo Menifield chinning Corey Anderson? I really would. I don't understand why everyone, a PFL guy, and they just love to shit on the UFC, so they say he would be top 5 level. I think him and Modestas have a close fucking fight. You know? I don't think he is. I don't think he is top level. He beat Jan, yeah, when he was fucking shit. Then what happened? Sorry, Brian Frosting. Corey Anderson beat Jan Blachowicz, yeah? Yeah, he did. You missing something in the storyline there? A potential rematch that happened when they were both nearer to their prime? You seem to be missing a bit of the storyline there in that Jan Blachowicz, Corey Sandhagen saga that they had. You've conveniently missed out a key part of the storyline where Jan Blachowicz flattened him out cold in round 1. Shut up, lads. Shut up. Thank you for the 2. Guru, what are the honest odds of Pereira pulling off a W? Next fight either way. What? Oh, next fight either way. If Ankalaev wins, the division will return to normal and he will fight Allberg, while the winner of Yuri versus Reyes probably fights. Yeah, I mean, who would they fight? The winner of Yuri Reyes would probably end up fighting... It's Blachowicz fighting Guskov, probably the winner of that. And then... if Pereira wins, I really think they're going to do him versus the winner of Aspinall Garn at the White House. They need something like that, you know what I mean? So they would save that for the White House card. And then it would be Yuri Khalil winner versus Allberg for the vacant title or the interim belt, depending on how long they have to wait. Dude, 50-45 is fucking insane. 50-45 should get an investigation if we really want to talk about this. 50-45 should get an investigation. I had it 3-2 Usman clear, chat. I will be real. And honestly, chat, I think if it was scored 48-47 Usman, that you guys would think, yeah, that is correct. But I reckon a draw is on the cards as well if they would have taken away a point. Yeah. Didn't watch the fight. Hughes got robbed. He did not. No, I don't think he got robbed. Well, he could have been robbed of a draw if they took away a point, but yeah. Rip Jones, thank you for the $2, dude. I gave it to Hughes in the 5th because he dropped him to one knee for a second. It's a good look. That was kind of the differentiator in that round, plus he landed some good shots. Round 3, I definitely gave to Hughes because he had his best round and he landed some big shots. That like stumbled Usman backwards a bit. Nina's gone, pig boy, thank God. Sup, Pork Rinds, how goes it? It goes well. You just can't give Usman round 2. Nah, you're incorrect. You ain't watched round 2. You didn't have a keen enough eye to judge UFC fights or MMA fights in general. Hughes was missing a lot in round 2 and he was getting stung by a jab a lot and he had visible hematoma on his right eye. On his right eye that round, dude. I'm telling you, Usman won round 2. Of course, the jury has to go live. And this is me telling you this, chat. I'd love to fucking champion the Hughes robbery thing. But he just simply didn't win. Thank you for the $2. Of course, the jury has to go live. I'm working. The problem is, who the fuck is Keith Peterson to not count the groin shot in round... This is the biggest fight in Paul Hughes' life. Who the fuck are you not to count the second groin shot and say, no, continue? Who the fuck are you? Call the groin shot, watch it back. If he's lying, take a point off him. That was a groin shot. No, continue. It was like some Usman versus Covington shit with Mark Goddard. Who the fuck are you? This is Hughes' entire life build-up. And you're not calling groin shots. If they would have called that groin shot, they would have had to have taken a point when he groin shotted him in round 3. Sup, Judius, thanks for all the lives recently. Alright, thank you. Usman Nurmagomedov, you can run, but you can't beat me 3 times. Alright, calm down. Dirty Goat Molesters win again via cheating and pre-written scorecards. 50-45 is a pre-written scorecard, man. It really is. Did you see one of them scored the 5th round, a 10-8 to Usman Nurmagomedov? But they didn't tally it that way, but he still had it listed a 10-8 round. First and last time watching PFL. I'll be real, chat. I'm going to be real. I saw someone say his name in chat, but I immediately thought this. They're Nasrat Haqparast, Esteban Ribovic level fighters. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. They are Nasrat Haqparast, Esteban Ribovic level fighters. I really think Esteban Ribovic would have just as equally close a fight with both of them. I really do. I think he really would give both of them a similar level of competition. Very similar level of competition. They're not top level. Not Esteban? No, I think so. And I don't even think Esteban... Lower level? No, I don't think lower than that. I think they're just outside the rankings, just inside the rankings. Depends on the matchups. It really does. Esteban would grind harder. Esteban would have more output. Yeah. They're young, so's Esteban. So that's irrelevant. They're both 28, 27. They're not like kids. Anyway, let me catch up. First and last time watching PFL. I will say it was a good fight, but when you watch PFL and it goes to distance, the level is shown. That weren't no Gamrot to Sarukian, and that was their pinnacle of skill, you know? Dirty Goat Molesters win again, yeah. Usman Nurmagomedov's amazing striker, put respect on his name. His jab was really good, I will say. He was stinging Hughes with a jab a lot more than people seem to think. Sup, man, Bear Pig. Give me a Robert Baratheon impression reacting to that Usman scorecard. Well, you know, I don't know what he would say. These fucking Dornish bastards. Usman won clearly, though. Ariel just hates. Usman won 3-2. I thought very clear, yeah. I gave the 5th to Hughes and the 3rd to Hughes. But I 1, 2, and 4 are pretty clearly Usman, in my opinion. How you been, Guru? I've been good. Thank you for the 11 months of membership. I think that was the guy. But let me tell you this right now, chat. Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia are the only places on earth where someone not from there can have a home turf advantage and it to be openly said. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. These guys are Russian. They're not from there. Yet when they go there, there's obviously the home field advantage here. That's not their... That's like me fighting in Germany and the commentary going, he's on home turf because I'm white. You know what I mean? You know how insane that is? To actually hear out loud. That is so biased as fuck. That really, really is. They are a team and we are not. And it is as simple as that. It is. It's Muslim bias. It really is. Massive, massive Muslim bias in those areas. What home turf advantage? They're from Russia. They're not from there. None of them are from there. You don't have a single fighter on the roster who's Abu Dhabian. They're from all over the place, but they believe the same thing as you. So it's a home field advantage. And the commentary will openly say, you know, home turf advantage for these guys. They're not even from that country, nor a neighboring country. You know? They could be a 4-hour flight away, 5-hour flight away. And they're saying, do home field, you know, we got the home crowd. No, not the home crowd. Insane. Emirati, whatever they call that thing. That's insane to me. That's like me fighting in like Finland and then people's, home field advantage against the black fighter because I'm white. That would never be said. It's a disgusting double standard. Who would you rather in the UFC? Hughes and Nurmagomedov or Huffy and Saint-Denis? Oh, see, stylistically it's different, but I really think Ribovic would give Usman Nurmagomedov a run for his money. I don't think they're top level. Not calling a groin shot is like that doctor from UFC 294 card that told Victor Henry he didn't get kicked in the balls. I know. It is insane. And I'll tell you this right now, what I'm realizing more and more. If Makhachev and Volk, if Volk had Makhachev's performance in that first fight and Makhachev had Volk's performance and they were in Abu Dhabi, Makhachev gets his hand raised. It's one of them. It is really where if it is close, they are going to go. But I do think that Usman beat Hughes. But it's one of them. It really is one of them. But even in Australia, Volk don't get the rub. Volk don't get the hometown bias. In his own country, they're like, oh, let's not be biased against these guys. We got to stop thinking like that, man. The rest of the world does not think like that at all. We are too kind for this earth, and it will cost us dearly. Dearly, dearly cost us. And it is the truth. We are genuinely too kind and good for this world. And you know, they say nice guys finish last. Thank you very much for the... Just got here, I had it 3-2 Usman, maybe 4-1. Hughes running the Aljo routine, laying face down, crying from a high inside leg kick is embarrassing. Yeah, 3-2 Usman. There is an argument, I guess, for the... I didn't think he won the third, but it was close, right? There's some swing rounds. Hughes running the Aljo routine, laying face down, crying from a high inside leg kick. No, it was a groin shot. You're retarded. And your name's Colin McLenahan. And look at the bias. You're not even... You're just going against your own. Colin McLenahan, you're the reason for the problems in our world right now. You bitch, frail pussy. Those weren't even groin... You're actually going out of your way to lie against your own man. They don't do that. They go out of their way to lie on behalf of their own. You're going out your way to lie against your own fighter. Colin McLenahan. No wonder Ireland going extinct, bro. Thank God. People like you. Would you ever collab with a Sidemen? How do you feel about Usman's kickboxing mixed with his wrestling? He is good. I just don't see excellence in any single area. So I do think like a Ribovic would give him a problem. Like chat, yes or... I mean, I think there's certain matchups where he can easily win it. Like, Michael Johnson gives problems to a lot of unranked UFC lightweights, but I think Usman would probably sub him. You know what I mean? So there's certain styles where he would do quite well. But I think Ludovic Klein would be a hell of a fight for him. Yes or no, chat? I don't think he's got the wrestling of Gamrot, from what I'm seeing. I reckon Ludovic Klein would be a hell of a scrap for him. And it would be like a similar Paul Hughes level, Usman level fight, you know? And I think that's where he's at right now. Bum, 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 bum. Like, I think Fiziev would have a very Paul Hughes performance against him. Maybe even better. Maybe even better. You know? So I think that's where we're at with it. To be honest with you. I don't think Chris Duncan beats him. But he's young. So, you know, there's time. Yeah, Fiziev's better than Paul Hughes. Fiziev's better than Paul Hughes. Maybe he doesn't have the cardio with him. But it wouldn't always be 5 rounders in the UFC. You know? You forget Usman's grappling. I just saw it. He couldn't pin down Hughes once. Thank you. Hughes is a teenage kid that picked up MMA at like 15. So, anyway. I don't know why people overrate Paul Hughes so much. It's like just because Paul Hughes looked good against Usman Nurmagomedov, all of a sudden, dude, no, Usman beat Paul Hughes. Like, Paul Hughes really hasn't done anything in the sport. You know? Really. He beat Jordan Vucenic. That's arguably his best win, aside from the Usman Nurmagomedov fights. And he didn't look good in this fight. He had very low output, very simple approach. No low kicks. Couldn't fix the jab problems that he kept getting hit with. I know the groin shots are real, but still. He was very just like body shot or left hook, right hand. He was very just two-shot barrage spammer. AJ McKee's good. True, with the flying knee. That's fair. That's fair. I forgot about the jump knee. He won that fight off that. But that was very competitive as well.